This was never just a journey across the ocean. It was a journey of the soul. They did not leave everything behind just for land. They were searching for something deeper, truth, freedom, and the right to believe. In the old world, faith was controlled. You were told what to believe, how to worship, and who to follow. To question was dangerous, but some refused to let go of truth. When they arrived, they believed they had found it. A place where they could worship freely, a place where faith could breathe, a new beginning under God. But reality came quickly. The land was harsh, food was scarce, disease spread, and in the silence of suffering, faith was tested. Some began to lose hope, but others held on. They prayed, they endured, they believed, because true faith is revealed in the hardest moments. And then, a deeper contradiction. People were taken from Africa, forced into slavery. In a land built on faith, freedom was not for everyone. So a question began to rise. What is true faith? Is it words, or is it how we treat others? Can a nation claim God but deny freedom? Slowly, something began to change. People started to see faith was not meant to control. It was meant to free, not to divide, but to guide. The Bible says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." But truth is not always easy, and freedom always comes with a cost. In the next episode, we will see how belief turned into action as the colonies begin to challenge a powerful king. A fight not just for land, but for freedom and for the right to live by truth. For years, the colonies had grown. They worked the land, built their homes, and strengthened their faith. But far across the ocean, a king still claimed authority over them, and slowly, quietly, tension began to rise. Laws were made without their voice. Taxes were demanded without their consent. They were being told how to live by a ruler they could not see. The question began to grow. Is this freedom? But this was not just political. It was spiritual. Who gives authority? A king or God? And if freedom is given by God, can any man take it away? Voices began to rise, not in anger, but in conviction. They spoke of truth, of justice, of rights that come from something higher, something unchangeable. They understood the risk. To stand against a king was to risk their homes, their future, even their lives. But faith does not grow in comfort. It grows when everything is on the line. And then the moment came. Tension turned into action. The line had been crossed. There was no going back. In 1775, the first shots were fired. A war had begun, not just for land, but for belief, for truth, for freedom. The odds were against them. They were smaller, less prepared, uncertain, but they held on to one thing: faith. And sometimes faith is enough to keep going. And then they made their stand. Freedom was not given by kings. It was given by God. And no man had the right to take it away. But declaring freedom and winning it are not the same. In the next episode, we follow the war and the cost of standing for truth. The tension was no longer just words. It was no longer just ideas. It had become real. Soldiers were sent, not to listen, but to control. And the people could feel it. Something was about to change. The night was quiet, but not peaceful. Word began to spread in whispers, in footsteps, in urgency. They are coming. Men left their homes, not as soldiers, but as protectors, fathers, sons, neighbors, standing for what they believed. And then it happened. A single shot. No one knows who fired first. But in that instant, history changed. The silence broke, and a war was born. No one knew what would happen next. No one knew if they would survive. But in that moment, fear met faith, and a decision was made. Not to run, but to stand. Everything moved all at once. Smoke filled the air. Voices shouted. Fear spread quickly, but so did courage. These were not trained armies. They were people choosing to stand when it would have been easier to fall back. This was more than a fight, more than a disagreement. This was a line between control and freedom, between fear and faith. News traveled fast from town to town, from colony to colony. The war had begun, and there was no turning back. They were not yet a nation, not yet united, but something was forming through struggle, through sacrifice, through belief. The war had started, but the outcome was uncertain. In the next part, we walk through the early battles, the losses, the doubt, and the moments when hope almost disappeared.